Therapist, life coach, or mentor? What the heck is the difference? I'm taking a bit of a detour from my usual Friday focus on entrepreneurship, motivation, or lack of it, and purpose seeking. I want to tackle a bit of a sticky wicket for many folks, and that is therapist, life coach, or mentor. What the heck is the difference anyway? I'm Susan Krautbauer and a business and mindset mentor for midlifers in transition. That's 30 to 50 somethings. And ordinarily, I provide gems from my own lived experience as an entrepreneur, business executive, and technologist. And I use my BS degree in family social science, think family systems counseling with an emphasis on resiliency, as the lens through which I view and help my clients when they need help achieving their goals. I'm taking this bit of a detour today from my normal conversation with you based upon an experience I bumped up against earlier this week. I am part of several professional forums and informal groups, think, private Facebook groups that focus on women in business and entrepreneurship. And a woman this week posted in a group about the massive stress and other significant challenges that she was grappling with. And she was successful, don't get me wrong. She said, my success is, over the top here. She said, but she was really struggling with some things and she asked for help. About 2 comments into the thread, another member cautioned her, saying that she'd done a similar post earlier in the year and had been inundated with hundreds and hundreds of posts and direct messages, private messages from folks, with a large percentage offering or claiming their program, mastermind, product as the thing that she needed to feel better. And as I watched that similar thing happen, I kind of climbed up on a soapbox, which I'm going to do today. With so many modalities for healing and growth now available, it can be hard to determine which approach is the right one for you. But let's figure it out. Choosing between a life coach, a mentor, and a therapist can be confusing since they all offer support and guidance. But it's important to understand there is a distinct difference between a therapist, a life coach, and a mentor, and each have their place in a person's journey, depending on what is needed by the individual. All 3 of these options are valuable, but each one provides a different outcome based upon your own personal use case. So let's start with therapists and counselors. They must complete a master's or a doctorate degree, must follow a set of regulations and code of ethics, and are credentialed and licensed or regulated by your state as mental health professionals. Therapists are licensed to treat mental illnesses using psychotherapeutic methods and help their clients achieve and maintain that baseline mental health. Psychotherapy includes treatment of depression and anxiety and PTSD and bipolar disorder and other diagnosable conditions. A therapist is who you'd see if you want to take a deep inward dive and help you discover a root cause of your mental health challenges. It is important to note, only therapists and counselors are qualified to determine and diagnose mental illness. If a therapist breaches their industry code of ethics or violate your confidentiality, there can also be legal consequences. So they have liability insurance as well to cover their practice. Life coaches and mentors aren't held accountable in exactly that same way. I also want to be very clear. Although my degree is a foundation for counseling, I am not a licensed therapist or counselor, nor would I ever want to mislead anyone on that delineation. I am a midlife transition business mentor. Okay, moving along. Let's talk about life coaches. Life coaches are often more broadly focused on the life situation of a person, hence the name life coach, right? Than any particular specific practice area. and help or guide the individual to find their own solution rather than offering their advice or opinions. It is important to note that life coaching is not a licensable profession, and they are not regulated by a government agency. Now, some life coaches have a certificate or belong to, say, the International Coaching Federation, also known as ICF, but there isn't a uniform regulated training process. So, a word to the savvy consumer: be sure to check out the actual certifying body they associate with, as there are a plethora of different companies certifying life coaches, and not all are widely accepted as top-notch training programs. Now, some people are both therapists and life coaches. A therapist can do basic skills just like a life coach can, but as we discussed earlier, a good therapist is also trained to do more in-depth psychological exploration with you. So if you need to change some deeply held beliefs, relationship patterns, or have a problem or trauma that goes deeper than just skills, a therapist is probably a better option to start with. In short, a therapist can be a life coach, but a life coach or even mentor can't be a therapist without completing the education and licensing requirements. So then how does a life coach differ from a mentor? Well, mentors are typically subject matter experts that focus on helping an individual find their own solution, but in a much more specific practice area. An example would be like a business mentor, such as myself, or a fitness mentor, or a mindset mentor, etc., 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 and are more direct in their approach than a life coach. They provide specific direction, strategies, and accountability when needed. A mentor focuses more on improving certain skills and holding you accountable for reaching your goals. If you're self-aware but need a confidence boost or help with goal setting or developing a plan around a discrete project, for example, developing a business plan, mastering your finances, or building out a back-end tech for, say, like Shopify as an example, a mentor can be a really good fit. Typically, most people are a candidate for either a therapist or one of the other two options based on your use case, or what I like to call your desired outcome or objective. The main question you need to ask yourself is, what do I want to accomplish? If you want to improve skills in one area, a life coach or mentor can be a solid choice or option to pursue. But if you want to change deep-seated beliefs or heal past traumas and really need some cognitive tools for healing and managing your mental health, then a therapist might be a better choice. Personally, for myself, if during an initial one-on-one call with a client, I discover they are struggling with depression or deep-seated, unrelenting stress or other issues that are negatively impacting their life and their own personal resiliency, I usually will provide a recommendation to start with a licensed therapist first. So if that description doesn't resonate with you and you're confident that it's not the root cause of challenges you are grappling with for mental health as you see it, then consider a life coach for a broader view or a mentor for specific strategies as a great pathway or option to achieving the specific outcomes that you seek. When it comes to comparing life coaching, mentoring, and therapy, get me wrong here, one is not better or worse than the other. Each person has different goals, and what might work for one person might not work or be the correct pathway for someone else. Only you can truly know the best choice for your own situation. But I really wanted to provide some context on the wide range of choices available to you and how they might best fit your needs based on whatever you're facing, the challenges or roadblocks in your personal or professional journey. I also feel really, really passionate about the integrity, the transparency that needs to happen when you're in a position such as I am, where folks look to you to be a subject matter expert and you are working with people to help them in their personal and professional goals. And it can be a fuzzy line between therapy required or coaching or mentoring required. So having been really concerned about some of the answers and that were happening in this post, I really felt compelled today to take this pivot and just talk a little bit about this so that there's no selling today. There's no heavy close on my Kickstart program, no referring to any of my own products or services. I just professionally and personally felt the need to share this information and my perspective, which, by the way, I also did similar in that thread, that posting thread. So if you're searching for help, guidance, connection, and healing, I want you to make an educated choice on what you need for today, right now, and in the future too. So I'm wrapping this up for today. We'll get back to our more typical conversations together that'll help midtrepreneurs and midlifers in transition marry their passion and their purpose with a paycheck. But for now, signing off and wishing you a lovely, lovely week.